Hey, welcome to Breakdown. If you are here, so am I. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you whenever you're watching. We'll bring our music down a little bit. Look, if you're watching this show during the premiere, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. I'm going to stop asking y'all, give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. I recently realized that actually works against me. So I'm going to ask you for what I want. Go ahead and thumbs up this premiere. And if you're watching this video, thumbs that up too. I'm trying to give you as much of a live experience as I can, but I am struggling with a cold. I live in a place where we only have 2 days of winter a year, and they both came last night. So I got a little bit of a cold, and I ran out of my white Hennessy that I got on my last vacation, so I can't self-medicate. But anyway, so I'm gonna keep this short. I decided not to go live tonight so I could just focus on the content. There's a few videos that we're gonna watch together, all very short. But we are going to discuss tonight some major new details related to the case of Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard and her soon-to-be extraction from Dalton, Illinois. Hold on a second, make sure I got everything I need. I am your host, DELACREMEDELA. Forgive me for not introducing myself. I just assume that if you're here, you know me, but you might not be. You might not know me. So I'm DELACREMEDELA. I am your esteemed host. It is my pleasure. I'm the creator of this show and this channel. So I'm glad that you're here. I wanted to welcome you all here, whether you are part of the Breakdown crew, whether you've been here since we were talking about Blueface and Krishan on the Sharp Show, or whether you are someone who has come along to help wrap this thing up with Mayor Tiffany Henyard, because our energy is a closing energy. We don't just get around to chit chat and shoot the shit. We close things down. So welcome to you too as well. And if you're just here for no particular reason, welcome to you too. Let me give you some quick house rules before we jump into what we are literally going to look at tonight and some more stuff. So the house rules are really simple. I'm going to go through them really quickly. Number one, this is not a no judgment zone. You can't get us over here with all that. Don't judge. Only God could judge me. That's not in the Bible. Tupac said that. I'm so tired of people saying it's in the Bible. And even if it was, it wouldn't make it any more true. We don't do religious abuse over here. So if you see it, you say it. Okay? So yes, everyone is on the chopping block here. This is not a no judgment zone. Welcome to Breakdown. What we do here is we see what we say. We take things from the media, take things that are presented to us, and we take a closer dive into them. Sometimes we find that there's more truth than what's presented. That's when we find out that there was a lie. Tonight, we are actually going to take almost everything that we see for face value. We're not going to do a lot of twisting and turning of information tonight. We're going to do more receiving, which feels so good. Don't it, ladies? So the second rule is this is not for children. And that is just because I like to speak how I speak. I speak as an adult. I'm a 43-year-old adult, and I've been cussing since I was 6 years old. I tried to stop cussing, and I actually did stop for a while, but then I found out my pastor, MV May, had been stealing from the church. He had been doing the same thing you see here. I've talked about it recently on this show. He had been using the trustee's signature to sign off checks to himself, and that sent me into a motherfucking tailspin, and I started cussing again. That might have been 2001. So I've been on my little cussing wave ever since. So this may not be for your children if you don't like them to hear that kind of language. Also, our conversation can get very adult here, even if I'm by myself. So keep that in mind. Number three, this is just a premiere. It's not a live, but for the most part, you will be able to chat once you've subscribed. That's all I ask. It don't even have to be for no certain amount of minutes. You don't have to give me a Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, nothing. You don't have to do nothing. Just subscribe, and then we can all participate in this conversation together. So those are our house rules. Oh, I'm going to give you another one because of the subject matter. If you think that you're going to come into this conversation as a non-Black person and criticize Black politicians or Black women or this particular Black woman as a Black woman, you got the wrong place. There's certain things we can say about each other that y'all just can't say about us. I'm just going to be honest with you. So don't come over here with that bullshit. I don't like, I lived in a country where almost everything I said online was censored. I would type things in English, and then when I translated them into Chinese, they was adding shit I never said. When they would post it, I'd have to delete the whole post just to not get arrested. So I understand censorship and how uncomfortable it can be, but I have had to do it here because there's a lot of idiots that, although there is a such thing as free speech, not here. So here's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to take a look at three things because I like us to look at things in the sense of not just looking at what's happening with the Mayor Tiffany Henyard situation and the Dolton trustees and the village of Dolton and the township of Thornton. I also kind of like us to put together information and kind of like a story to be able to walk away with something more than just information. So we're going to look at these three videos tonight, and we're going to look at them in order. Now, I'm not going to do a whole lot of breaking down of them off rip. I just want us to kind of look at a pattern because we've done that a lot on this show, right? We talked about the pattern between the relationship that Tiffany Henyard had with the Dolton trustees, where she came in immediately dishonest, coming in saying she was going to pay for her own inauguration and then wanting the village to put the bill. Then we talked about the pattern where she happened to have audio issues in one meeting, and then 2 years later there were audio issues in another meeting exactly 2 years later. But the first meeting, she had to admit that those were her because it came up as a challenge. What other patterns have we seen here? There have been so many because she's an idiot. And one thing about idiots is they're not creative. They're not inventive. We've seen several different things when it comes to her patterns, but tonight, this pattern's going to get a little dangerous. This pattern's going to get a little dangerous. And although the 3Ds, death, disease, and dick, are usually spoken about after midnight, one of those Ds is a part of the show tonight, but this is not going to be a midnight show, so don't worry. It might get uploaded at midnight. I can't control YouTube. But this is not intended to be an after dark show just because there is one of those 3Ds included. I'll let you figure out which one that is. So what I'm going to do is I am going to jump right in. Okay? It's important to me, excuse me for sniffling, that I jump right in because we got a lot to do tonight. I want to take a look at a certain pattern, and we'll talk about what that pattern is after we've watched these videos. The first one I want us to watch is the news update concerning Tiffany Henyard being probed by the FBI. With all this alien talk, I feel a little probed too. I'll be looking out my window like, what the fuck is that? And I live in Arizona. This is a alien UFO hotspot. What the fuck is that? I can't wait to show you all my camera reels. I found Uranus. It was right across the street. The restaurant across the parking lot from my condo, there was a star above it that I just couldn't figure out why the fuck this star was so bright. So I zoomed in real tight. And I was like, the fuck, that's a whole planet. It was a fucking gray rock. And so I Googled it, did an image search on it, and it was Uranus. And I was like, fuck it, that's kind of dope that you can see a whole planet from your house. But anyway, so yeah, I understand the feeling of being probed, but because I honor the devil, he keeps me out of trouble. He keeps me legal. I don't do things that are illegal. When you honor the devil, you have access to the whole world. So you don't have to do things illegally. Things just come to you. And because I do honor the devil, it's easy for me to look at this situation critically and without religious eyes and give it the full what for. The first thing we're going to talk about is this FBI probe. Okay. The second video we're going to look into is the video that was just released a few hours ago. It just happened. There's some situations that overlap. that we're going to look at. So we're going to look at the video of the FBI probe, and then we're going to look at the video where we see that Tiffany Henyard is strong-arming some businesses in Dalton. And the events of these two videos overlap so beautifully. She's such a fucking idiot. And then the third video we're going to look at is when one of those 3Ds does come into play, and it becomes a little bit more dangerous than just this meme of a mayor who's an idiot and a thief, a dumb criminal, so to speak. But let's do this. Let's bring up the first.
Who has information indicating the FBI has launched an investigation into controversial Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Dane Placco has been followed.
Hey, look, I'm going to say, let me know if you can hear and see this, okay? I'm going to assume that you can.
Following allegations of her misspending, and joins us now with an update. Dane.
Yeah, we've been reporting for nearly 2 years on allegations of corruption surrounding Henyard in her capacity as Dalton mayor and Thornton Township supervisor. And now we've learned from multiple sources that federal agents are in fact interviewing witnesses as part of a possible investigation that may or may not result in charges. Did the FBI agents you talked to seem serious about
very serious
concerns?
Very serious. Very.
Lawrence Gardner owns a U-Haul rental and trucking business in South Suburban Dalton and says he went to the FBI several months ago, frustrated that the village of Dalton would not renew his business license. Gardner says he's been harassed and his business raided and shut down by Dalton police. He believes because he refused to make a donation to a civic event sponsored by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
And I talked to a couple of agents and I explained them what was going on. I gave them all my paperwork to show them what was happening in court and what was happening in Dalton. And they told me they was investigating and they would be in touch with me.
Gardner is one of 6 people who confirmed to Fox 32 that they've been interviewed by the FBI, ranging from Dalton business owners to a former village employee and at least one public official. And we've learned the FBI has been using electronic surveillance as part of its investigation. Agents are asking questions about Henyard's alleged use of taxpayer dollars and resources, including massive spending on out-of-town trips, hundreds of thousands of dollars in police overtime for her personal security detail, using public employees and tax dollars for personal benefit, and holding up licenses to certain businesses like this Dalton restaurant.
I've heard rumors that say, hey, I'm on the wrong team.
Dwayne Wood has been trying to renew the business license for his restaurant for nearly a year. While he has not talked to the FBI, he believes he can't get approved because he's provided catering to several Dalton trustees who are engaged in a political fight with Henyard.
I think I've been just targeted because of my affiliation with a certain group of people. You know, I had the trustees. I've cooked for the trustees.
And in a lawsuit filed by a Dalton towing company, the owner alleges their business license has been held up because, quote, George's Towing's refusal to support or contribute to Henyard's political campaign. In a statement, Dalton trustee Jason House reacted to the news of the FBI's involvement. We welcome any investigation that will bring transparency on how taxpayer dollars are being spent. Our residents deserve this level of financial transparency.
At least.
We reached out to the FBI, which said it is policy for the agency not to comment on the nature, existence, or non-existence of any investigation that may be occurring. A public relations firm responded on behalf of the mayor, saying neither Henyard or the village of Dalton have received any subpoenas or been contacted by the FBI or any other law enforcement agency. Dawn, back to you.
Back to you, Dawn. Listen, I'm just going to give a couple pieces from there just to make sure we all heard. So according to this news story, there has been an FBI probe initiated inside of Dalton in which people have been in physical contact with the FBI, about 6 people so far. Garner being one of them, the owner of, I think, George's Towing. And then a public official and a former employee of the village of Dalton. I can guess on who those people are, but I won't, because if the FBI don't want you to know, then I won't impede on their investigation. But it's a very interesting thing, right? So the FBI investigation has begun. The FBI has been in Dalton physically, feet on the ground, getting hard copy documents. Okay, that man didn't say he emailed or texted those documents. He said, I handed them over my files. So he actually has physically participated. Shout out to him. I pray for his protection and that of his family, especially considering some of the information we have to cover tonight and how this woman operates and her team. So I wanted to make sure that we got that because it's very important that we know, and I want us to put this together. Yesterday, this news, Fox 32 was in Dalton creating this news story. Okay, they were filming this news story yesterday in Dalton in the afternoon by the looks of the sunlight. Okay, that becomes a very important thing. And they say their sources say that the FBI is probed. Well, I have a degree in broadcast production. Their sources are the FBI. Okay, so they know when the FBI was there. They know what's happened. They knew what footsteps to follow, who to go to. They knew. So I'm not going to say anything more than the news has been in contact with someone from the FBI regarding this situation. And they know when the FBI was in Dalton. And the reason I know they know when the FBI was in Dalton is because of the next video and some information they share. So let me go ahead and bring that.
The reason? Because they're not financially supporting Dalton's
Sorry.
mayor.
Let me go back.